So yeah, we're going to be doing part 2 of Web App Builder to Experience Builder, and we're going to be focusing on operation hubs. So just a quick overview. Um, we're going to start by reviewing transitioning Web App Builder to Experience Builder and the role of operation hubs. And I just want to clarify, I'm going to be using the term operation hubs a lot, and that's not an official Esri term. It's kind of just a term that CloudPoint has been using to define this type of experience builder app that we've been making. Um, so after that, we're going to do reviewing widgets and resources that are unique to Experience Builder that allow for being able to create these hubs. And then we're just going to do an overview of a highway operations hub that CloudPoint has created. And then we're going to demonstrate how to recreate that highway operations hub. So as some of you probably already know, we have a few other webinars on this topic of Web App Builder to Experience Builder. And I just wanted to note that in this webinar, I'm not going to be focusing specifically on transitioning a specific Web App Builder application, as I have in some of the past webinars like these ones. And so this one, I'm going to be focusing more on uh, basically what you can do after you've transitioned over some of your apps, or if you're still about to transition, creating this operations hub where you can then have all of your apps in one place. But if you're looking for some more resources on how to, specifically transition one Web App Builder app to Experience Builder, yeah, check out these other webinars that we've done, also with the Smart Editor to Smart Forms, which is another component of going to Experience Builder. So I just also wanted to touch on that Web App Builder is going to be going away. So Esri has announced that all 3 versions of Web App Builder will be retired in 2025. So for ArcGIS Online, it's planned to be retired in the 4th quarter of 2025. And so what that means for your apps is that you'll still be able to view your apps, but you won't be able to create any new Web App Builder applications or edit your existing ones. And also support from Esri will be limited. And then for Enterprise, the final release of Web App Builder is planned for the first half of 2025. And so after that final release, any other Enterprise versions after that will no longer have Web App Builder. And if you're on a previous version of Enterprise, you'll still have it, but again, limited support, and I think limitations as far as editing and creating Web App Builder. And the developer edition is it's already been retired as of July 2024. So I think it's kind of same as ArcGIS Online, where you can still look at your Web App Builder apps, but you will no longer be able to edit or create new ones with developer edition. So with the depreciation of Web App Builder, there's an opportunity to reevaluate your app functionality and app organization as you move to Experience Builder. So since you're going to have to transition, these Web App Builder apps to Experience Builder, this really gives you a chance to use to examine the use case of your apps and how you may want to improve your app and use some of the new Experience Builder tools and widgets that we didn't have before. And so that's kind of what this webinar is going to be focusing on, is some of those new capabilities that you should be thinking about as you're moving your apps over that maybe you could add or update your app for. And so some of the migration resources on Web App Builder going away, there's a link here that you can check out for more information on that. So why have an operation hub, and what is it exactly? So an operation hub is basically an Experience Builder application that can serve as a container that can hold other apps and dashboards and other resources all in one location. So this allows for quick data insights and workflows all to be kind of happening in one place. So in this demonstration, I'm going to be showcasing a demo highway department hub application. And highways are a good place for, these hub apps just because they can have a lot of assets, such as like structures, signs, or guardrail data. And basically you can have all of that within multiple different apps within your Experience Builder app. So if you have, users that are maybe not as GIS friendly, rather than having to jump between multiple different apps to see data, they can just go to one app and be able to view everything there. And lastly, I just wanted to mention that in this webinar, we're going to be focusing on some of the unique capabilities that Experience Builder has, such as the multi-page capability, the embed widget, and also in widget infrastructure, which kind of provides us a way to create a layout and customize the layout of our widgets within our application. So all of these widgets are going to help us to create this hub that can serve as a one-stop shop to access various applications and dashboards within your organization. All right, so now we'll move on to the demo portion. So this is the application that we're going to be recreating. And so here you can see we have a home page. It's just a landing page that has some operation metrics. We have just a brief, asset count of the various different assets we have, and then also some charts showing condition for different assets. And then up above here, we have this different pages. So this is a menu widget that's functioning in the background. And if we go over to structures, you'll see that from first glance, it all, looks like it's part of this one Experience Builder app, but this county bridge structures is actually a dashboard that is embedded using the embed widget. And so that is how all these other tabs are functioning as well, where if we go over here to culverts, you'll see another dashboard that is embedded and signs. And so this is all giving us a place here in this hub app to basically jump around to different parts of the highway department assets that they could be monitoring. And then something else that is cool that hopefully we'll have time to touch on is that this app is set up here in the dashboard that if I click, let's say like a structure here, we will get a pop-up. And we have different links, but if I do edit structure, it's going to jump over to another Experience Builder application, and it's going to have that structure already selected and ready to edit. And so this is kind of a different kind of workflow that maybe you could implement as well, where you can set it up to basically edit from a pop-up through, a dashboard or another Experience Builder application. So hopefully we'll have time at the end to also, so I can show you how that works too. All right, so now I'm going to jump over and just show you what this all looks like in ArcGIS Online. So I have this Highway County folder, which basically has all of the apps that are within that hub. So here's the hub Experience Builder application. And then below that, we have all the dashboards that we saw, as well as the web maps that are associated with the dashboards. And we have the editor Experience Builder applications like the structures one we just saw. This is all contained within this hub application. And so rather than having your, GIS users or people that are in your organization having to go into ArcGIS Online and jump around trying to find different applications, you can have it all in one place. So it's definitely something to think about as you're transitioning from a web builder. Do you want to have a hub where you could maybe put all the newly transitioned apps into there and then have it be easy access? So let's now jump over and we're going to be recreating that highway app. So to start off, just go to Create App, then I'm going to go to Experience Builder, and then Create New. So here we'll see all of our different templates we can choose. These should be familiar from Web AppBuilder. And then I'm going to be selecting blank scrolling. And the reason why I'm going to be choosing that one is because blank scrolling does offer some kind of layout options that automatically come with it that I think are helpful for this use case. So we'll go over that once we get there, but I already have this pulled up. So if I had hit create, this is what it would have looked like. So we have a blank Experience Builder app. We're just kind of starting from scratch here. And so the first thing I'm going to do is go over here, and we have our different options as far as, data and different widgets that we could add. And then over here we have page. So this is the first page. I'm going to rename this to be the home page. Actually, let's just rename it to be home for simplicity's sake. Okay, so now that page is selected, if I go over here, I can add a header. And then within that header, I'm going to add some text. So if I go over here to this plus, this is where I can insert different widgets. So I just search for one, and then I can add it in here. And I'm just going to name it Highway Demo App. And I'm going to change the color to be black, make it a little bit bigger. Whoops, I accidentally deleted it. Okay. All right, and then on the layout settings, I'm going to change this to be white. So now we've got a title. We could also add an image or logo if we wanted to. But I'm going to focus on now adding the menu widget. So the menu widget is a great way to be able to really easily just jump between different pages that you have in your application. So I'm going to make this a little bit larger. It looks kind of weird now because we don't have any other pages. But over here, if I go back to page, I can add another one. So this is something that is unique to Experience Builder, that you can have, multiple pages within one application. So I'm going to name this one Structures. And then now that I have structures selected, I can also add in the header. And now we'll see that that same header that we already created is brought over. And then it's automatically putting in the menu widget our different pages that we have. So I can jump between them really easily. Now, of course, there's nothing on these pages yet, so it doesn't look much different, but let's go about fixing that. So if we turn off live view, now I'm going to add in the embed widget. So I'm just going to take, now I chose a blank full screen when I added this page because I knew I was going to be putting in this embed widget. So if I go back to my content, how the embed widget works is that it's going to take a URL from an app or a website, and then it's going to connect to that and basically just embed it right in here. So if I go to my content, I'm going to go to that structures dashboard, and I'm just going to copy over the URL for this app. Oops. And then just paste it right in here. So as easy as that, now we have a dashboard that is fully embedded into this app that can be used, and it functions just the same as any other dashboard. It's just within this Experience Builder hub. And so that is what we would do. For example, I mean, this is how we did it over here, is that each one of these tabs, I did the same process where I would take the embed widget and then put in the URL to a dashboard. And then now we would have those dashboards already set up within Experience Builder. And for time's sake, I'm not going to go through and add each one of those that we had in the other app, but I do want to show you how you can also add different kinds of embeds. So you can do a website, for example. So I'm going to go here and add another page. I'm going to do blank full screen. And for this one, I'm going to add the CloudPoint website. So same thing where I have this page selected, I add the header in. You can see how this page has been added. I'm going to go out of live view, and I'm going to add the embed widget again and just format it. And then I can take a website, such as CloudPoint's website, copy the URL, and put that into the embed widget. And then you'll see now we have CloudPoint's whole website in here. So this will function exactly how it would if you were just online on the website. It's just that it's embedded into this application. And you can see here's the webinar we're currently in. um, and then I also just wanted to show you what it would look like if you were putting another Experience Builder application in. So I'll do the same thing, add this. I'm just going to do the structure editor. And we'll add the header in, embed widget. Alrighty. And then if I go over to, actually, I think I already have the link copied for time. But here is another Experience Builder app, which is that structure editor that we had seen previously. So you could also have the editor in here. I mean, this could also be, it could be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. So for this one, it's like we could just have this be a structure, hub or something where you could have the structure dashboard as well as the structure editor, and you can jump between them really easily within this one Experience Builder app. So definitely something to think about as you're transitioning your applications over, that you can, create these different kinds of structures with other Experience Builder apps to put your, recently transitioned apps into. All right, so now we're going to go over to the home page, and I'm going to just show you how I set up this page here. So over here, you can see how things are set up really neatly, where we have, consistent spacing among our different widgets and everything. And so I'll just show you how that works now in Experience Builder. So first I'm going to add that image that we had. So if I drag that over, oops, we're frozen. I'm going to put this across. And you can see that automatically, because we chose that blank rolling screen as our template, what comes with that is blocks. So this image is now in this block, and this is a really faint line to see, but there's a faint line here that is kind of distinguishing that this is one block. And of course, I can make the block larger or smaller, but we're going to keep it about this size. And so now I'm going to add an image, and then I'm going to add some text. I'll just say highway assets at a glance. Make that a little bit bigger. And so now you can see that we have another block that's been created. So this helps to just kind of manage the space. This is, part of the layout functionality that Experience Builder has to help you, not have to worry about setting up your widgets and worrying about the spacing being off. So now I'm going to go into the layout widgets. So down here, we have these layout widgets, which are basically just here to help you set up your Experience Builder page. So I'm going to add some rows, which again are going to be within this one block that I have here. And so if I add 2 rows, you can see that also automatically in that block helps you format the spacing of it. So there's kind of, I can just drag it, and there's already going to be some space there. And then within these layout widgets, we can put in different other widgets such as text or whatever else we want. So this will be asset counts and conditions, something like that. And of course, for the sake of time, I'm not going to worry about formatting these texts, but obviously that's what you would do if you were making this official app. So if I go back down to the layout, now I'm going to add a column. So now this column is in its own block as well. I'm going to add a separate column. I'm going to line up these columns to be with the asset count text box. And same thing here with this, because this is where my charts and asset counts are going to be held. And so Now that we have these columns set up, I can also add rows within columns. And so just for reference to show you what we're kind of gearing towards. So this is what we're creating. So we have now this column, and then this has a row in it and a row here. So that's what we're building over here. So now I'll put this row here, and then I'm going to adjust this a little bit. And then we can add our chart widgets. And I'll add another one here. Oh, actually, I'm going to add 2 charts here. All right, so now we have our basic layout set up. And then here I'm going to be, in order to get this card structure, I'm going to be adding the card widget. And I'm just going to be simplifying it a lot. So if I add card, put that in here, you'll see it comes with a lot. I'm going to choose this kind of more simple design, click start. And then I'm going to delete a lot of these card items because we don't really need them. And so we're just going to pare it down so that we just have a text and image. And then I can duplicate this. So I know that I have, maybe 5 assets I want to show. I'm just going to duplicate those. All right, so over here, we want to get dynamic content within here. I want to be able to show how many, oops. I want to be able to show how many structures that we have total. And so when you first have your text box, you'll see that there's a data can here. And so that allows you to connect to data. So if I do that and then select data, I can go into my AGO account and I can select, let's say, the highway structures dashboard web app, which I know has the data that I need. And then I'm just going to click local structures. And then I'm going to go to my dynamic content. Now that I've connected to structures, I can actually pull data from there. So I'm going to do default instead of selected features so we can see all the data. And then go to statistics. And I just want to do a count of object ID to get a total number. And then I'm going to change the label so that when it's loading, it'll let you know. And I'm just going to drop this down. Make sure we're in the right place here. All right, so now if I come out of this, we'll see that it now says 208. So it's drawing dynamic content from a web map. And then of course you could add your image and change the text so that it looks a little better formatted. And then just do this for the rest of them, and that would be your asset counts. And then over here, we have the charts. And so same kind of deal where we can select data. Since I've already brought in the structured data, I'm just going to use that. Then you have options for lots of different charts you can add. I'm going to do a kind of donut pie chart. And we're going to do structure condition. Here we go. And then we can, go through and customize this. I'm going to customize the color by category. We could change the colors if we want. And then also, you could change the title, description. So if we go into live view, we can see here that we can view, if we hover over, we can view that data. So I've just left a note for the user. And then we can see all the different categories. So that's how you would add these charts as well as the asset counts. So that's kind of the bare bones of how you go about creating a hub. And again, it's a great place to put any of your apps that you're creating into here. And there's a lot of options that you didn't have in Web App Builder that now you do have an Experience Builder. So I think it's good to see all those different opportunities that you have to revamp your apps since you're going to be transitioning them. And really quickly, I just wanted to show you that. So over here, I talked about this kind of different editing workflow where you could have it be in your pop-up. And so just wanted to show you kind of how that works. So to set that up, since it's in the pop-up, we go to the structures dashboard web map. And then if I go to structures and go to pop-up, we'll see that we have text and it is formatted with HTML. So if I go down here, you can see that we're grabbing some of the feature attributes for this table. This is all just styling this table. And if we go down to the bottom, we have some hyperlinks. And so we have a Illinois IDOT website, but also we have the Experience Builder editor. And so this link here is what this button is going to be going to. And then over here, we have the object ID as kind of this dynamic content that's going to be at the end of the link. And so this is going to help us determine which point is selected and which one to jump to in the structure editor. So if we go over to the editor, wherever I had that, and what we'll see here is that we have a link. And so if you were in this editor and you select a point, this number here is actually the object ID. And so if you set up the link for it to be dynamic content where it knows that to create the link with the object ID that you have selected in the dashboard, then it's just going to generate this link in the pop-up and then bring you right to that feature here. So that's just the interesting tidbit I thought was cool on this app of just another way to kind of go about an editing workflow. So I think that is all I have for you guys. But thank you all for coming.